This is the all-new Volvo V60 Recharge. Now this is probably one of the most beautiful station wagon you can buy right now in Malaysia. So I'm going to take you through the entire exterior design, the interior, and see what it's like to drive this Volvo V60. Let's just start off with the rear of the car because I think this is one of the most beautiful highlights of the car. So as a station wagon, it's very beautiful overall, and classic Volvo. I love this L-shaped design of the car. It looks fantastic. This is the facelift version. It used to have exhaust tips at around here, but from this new one, this 2023, it does not give you exhaust tips, but it's better than giving you a fake exhaust, right? It has 471 liters of boot capacity, which means I can fit all of my, camera equipment over here, my camera bag, my tripod. You can fit everything like that. And also, there's a net storage over here. You can put your charging cable over here, which is very nice. 4 hooks to hang, shopping bags, I guess. Very nice, practical. You do not have a spare tire, as you can see. It's a modern car nowadays. They do not give you a spare tire, but you do have tire repair kits underneath there. But yeah, the boot capacity is really long, really huge. Again, it's not as huge like a Audi A4 Avant, which that one I believe that has a 500 liters of boot capacity. Is 471, but it's definitely much more bigger than a Volvo XC60. That boot capacity is 468. This is 471. So not all SUV have a big luggage capacity, unlike the station wagon. I absolutely love this creases coming through the rear arch over here. It makes the car look very muscular, very sporty. And as comes as standard, 19-inch. The pre-facelift version comes with Michelin Pilot Sport 4. This one comes with E Premium Safe by Michelin. From the size, I absolutely love it. I think the only thing I don't really like about the side is like the front of the car, like the front of the nose here. I feel like you need to protrude a little bit more, like a bit much more aggressive. But other than that, yeah, no complaints on the side. It still looks a very fantastic station wagon over here. And then all modern Volvo cars have this beautiful tall headlamps right over here. Look at that, it's such amazing. And it comes as standard adaptive LED, so it'll blank out part with beams so it doesn't dazzle oncoming traffic. I love these bold creases coming through the bonnet over here. Very nice touch. And then because this is the V60, it's not the S60, it's using all chrome on the grille, which I actually prefer the chrome rather than all blacked out like the S60 is, the sedan. So what do you think about this design of the Volvo V60? For me, I think it's really beautiful looking car. From the side, from the front, from the rear, every panel of this car looks fantastic. I think the only car that I know that looks much more nicer than this V60 is probably the Audi A4 Avant. Yeah, probably that car looks a bit much more nicer, but no complaints on it. So let's go into the interior. So the interior of this Volvo V60 looks fantastic across all panel. I mean, it looks very nice. It's very premium quality. Just the touching of the soft touch material on top of the dashboard, on the side of the door panel over here. It looks clean, very minimalistic, very Volvo, but it's not too clean like for example like a Tesla. It's just one screen in the middle. It does look very nice even though it's a very clean design. I absolutely love this gear lever over here. Is made by Orofors Sweden, I believe. I'm not sure am I pronouncing it correctly, but that is what it is. It looks fantastic. You have a portrait 9-inch infotainment display over here, which I'll talk in just a little bit. The steering wheel feels very nice, leather. The quality of the entire center console is very good, very sturdy. I absolutely love this Volvo seat. Now, if you get the chance to sit in a Volvo S60, which is the sportier version of the sedan of this 60 series, the seat is a bit different than this Volvo V60. It's because that one is a bit much more sportier seat. The leg extension, right, of the S60 is a bit much more curved to hold you in place when you're going into a corner, so it's much more sportier, and the side bolster is a bit much more hold you in place, whereas this one is just a bit much more flat. The leg extension is a bit much more flat and so it's a bit much more comfortable for me to say for this V60 seat compared to the S60. Other than that, creature comfort, you have two cup holders here. You can fit like a water bottle over here inside the center console over here, no problem at all. You can fit inside this door bin over here with no problems. The storage in the center console is absolutely small. The reason is because the hybrid battery is underneath the center console here, which is quite unique, because if they put the battery at the rear boot, it's going to eat up space. So other than that, yeah, creature comfort is very nice. You do have the Harman Kardon speaker for this particular car. You do not have optional for the bowels and wheel gates, which I thought we could have as an option, but we do not have it. But oh well, this Harman Kardon sounds absolutely amazing as well. So other than that, yeah, you have your big panoramic sunroof over here as standard, very nice. Okay, so let's talk about the infotainment system over here. So this is run off Android Automotive, run by Google. So it's basically very like an Android phone. So theoretically, it's quite easy to use. You actually can download a lot of things through the Play Store. Actually, you just sign into your Google account and you can install, I don't know, you can install games, you can Amazon Prime to watch videos while you're on station, stationary. But yeah, you can actually download all this kind of thing. But as standard, this car has an inbuilt Google Map. So this inbuilt Google Map is basically like Google Map. You can search anything from the search bar based on Google. Alright. For my experience, I absolutely love the infotainment because it's very easy to use. But at the same time, I have few problems with the infotainment system. For example, you do not have Android Auto. You do have Apple CarPlay, wired, no wireless. But you do not have Android Auto, which is very weird. It's an Android automotive system, but you don't have Android Auto. I'm not entirely sure why, but oh well. Another thing I don't like about this infotainment is that the driving mode settings inside the display, which I don't like it, because when you're driving, you want to make sure you press a button to change the driving mode. For example, from hybrid to power, constant all-wheel drive, or pure, those driving mode. Just a button. They used to have a scroll wheel over here back in the days, the Volvo cars, but now they just remove it and put everything onto the display. It does look cleaner, I'll give them that, but it's just a bit much more step to go to your driving modes. That's the only gripes I would say about the infotainment system. But other than that, yeah, it's very easy to use. The climate control, yes, is it's integrated inside the infotainment system, but it's quite easy to operate. Just press one button and then all the information of the climate control is right over there. And then you do have a 12-inch digital cluster in front of the driver here. It's pretty dull, I would say, because it's just black and blue. You can't change anything other than that. So you do have a Google Map, the inbuilt Google Map in front of it, but other than that, there's nothing. Either you want to turn on or turn off. That's about it. You can't change anything. If you want to show your media player, your phone is playing the music, like Apple CarPlay or something like that, it doesn't show in front of the digital cluster, which is a shame. You have so much space. You can just add in some information other than just the Google Map, but it is what it is. So you do have a head-up display as standard, which is very nice. So other than that, yeah, it's a really nice cabin to sit in. The materials feels very nice. I feel like the material quality is actually feels like a bit much more sturdier than a Mercedes C-Class Estate. It feels much more solid. The vanity mirror is quite big, it's quite standard. The handlebar feels quality. Okay, so let's go into the rear. So going to the rear, open the door. It does not open quite wide. The door is, I wish the door could open much more wider a little bit, but That's about it, but it's okay. So the rear of the seat, so this seat is sitting on my driver position, 181 centimeters tall, and I do have lots of leg room over here. Like how many tennis ball over here? I think like probably just 2 or 1.5, I guess. But I still have a lot of space on the rear seat on my driving position. My feet barely fits underneath the seat, which is a bit tight, but it's all right, I guess. The seat over here, the rear seat, as you can see, if I set up this straight, I do have a lot of headroom over here, which is very good, from a person like me at 181 centimeters tall. But if you're over like 190 and above, you do gonna feel a bit head struggle at the rear over here, because of the slopey roof of this station wagon. The design of it is very does hit into head space. But for me, for my height, 181 feels fine. So creature comfort at the rear, so you do have a air vent over here, which is very nice. I love it. You do not have the Hummer Cardan logo at the rear, which is quite shame, if they have the similar, like in the front, the similar Hummer Cardan logo over here, it would be a very nice touch for the passenger for the rear, but oh well. So again, quality feels very nice, very solid. I absolutely love this Volvo seat design, because the sculpture is actually much more thinner, so it's actually give you much more leg room, so it's very nice. You have 2 USB-C, 2 USB-C. Over here, you have a huge transmission tunnel over here because it's an all-wheel drive. So you also do have an armrest, very nice. 2 cup holders, which is very nice, is hiding. So if you don't need it, you just close it and your hand just resting on it. Very nice. So for the middle seat, right, does protrude a little bit. It's a bit much more raised up. So for me, coming into the middle seat, oh my god, it feels alright. Okay, so I'm sitting at the middle seat. It feels alright. If I sit up that straight, I still feel alright, but the problem is the body width of the car is a bit much more narrow than, like, for example, like the Audi A4 Avant. So if 3 people sit in the rear, grown adult, it will be a bit struggle on shoulder room. But other than that, I still feel very comfortable in the middle seat, no problem at all. So passenger wise, for the rear, feels very good, very nice. Nothing to complain. It is definitely a very practical station wagon over here. So what is it like to drive this V60 around town? So I'm going to put in the driving mode into pure. Basically, it's going to be pure electric driving experience, basically like a pure EV V60. Alright, so this car is have adaptive suspension. So when you're on pure mode, it's a very much it softens up the suspension, much more comfortable. But you do feel the bumps a little bit more on this T8 model, on this particular, because it has the hybrid battery underneath the chassis. So you have to make sure the suspension is a bit much more stiffer, or else it will be rolling around when it comes into the corner. But nevertheless, it still feels a very comfortable car. And again, when you're on pure mode, on electric, it's very quiet. Listen, all you hear is the amplifier of the electricity of the car that's coming through the speaker, which is alright. I would say it's alright. And coming through this uneven surface, yeah, you feel the fidgety of the suspension just a little bit, but it's not too uncomfortable, to say the least. It's still a very comfortable ride. Like you're going through these speed bumps over here, yeah, it's alright. I'm going about 40 and it's alright. It's not too crashy. Alright, it's not crashy. It's still very comfortable ride to travel in. And since the electric motor is in the rear wheels, you're basically driving a wheel drive V60, which is quite nice. You can feel the electric motor just pushing you when you're accelerating, which is very nice. So right now I'm cruising on a highway at 60 kilometers an hour. I'm going to change the driving mode from pure to hybrid, and the battery usage on to auto. But for me, I will change into the battery usage into whole mode, because I'm going to use pure petrol alone only. But for everyday usage, for people I know, they were going to just put in the hybrid and auto, just let the system run itself. So I want to see how fast this car responds. So right now I'm driving at 60 km/h. I'm going to full throttle it right now. There we go, and now I'm 110 km/h. It is a really rapidly fast car, this V60. Now, if you see, the car does delay a little bit for the electrical system to push the car, for the gearbox to kick down, and then the turbo spools out, and then this will start flying. This car is. It does delay just a little bit, like 1 or 2 seconds, but once it kicks down, oh, this car really flies, man. Like stupidly fast, man. This car is. The transition from electrical to the ICE combustion engine is very seamlessly. It's very smooth. You don't actually really feel like the engine is running unless I look at the digital cluster over here. It's very seamless. It doesn't feel very intrusive when the engine kicks in. It's very smooth, very linear. That's one thing you gotta give to Volvo right over here. It's very smooth, very nice. The transition from electrical hybrid to the ICE combustion engine is very, very nice, very smooth. So going to a corner, I'm going to put in the drive mode into a power mode. I don't know why I said like that. But anyway, once you put in the power mode, you feel the entire car is a bit much more stiffer, but not too uncomfortable. It still feels very, very comfortable. The throttle response is much more increased. The gears holding the gears much more longer, and and it flies, man. This car is stupidly quick for it's for a family wagon. This car is. Now, pushing this car into a corner, I mean, it's not gonna tip over, right? It's not gonna tip over. It's a Volvo. It's gonna be very safe, you know. But it does put a smile on your face on how this car is so well balanced when you push it into a corner. I mean, it's no Audi RS4 to say the least, right? It's no sports wagon. But if you chuck it into a corner right here, yeah, it handles really well. But of course, once you chuck it into really, really tight corner and once you push it real hard, you do start to see the understeer of this car, right? If you drive a much more sedate kind of person, like a normal person, when it comes to corner like this, it's fine. It won't tip over, but it's not going to impress the Audi RS4 fans, right? It's going to be alright, this car is. So fuel economy, right? So I've been driving about 116 kilometers right now on highway speed, 110 kilometers. So the average I got is 6.1 liters per 100 kilometers, which is pretty good, you know, for a car that has 462 horsepower. But then again, you do have to charge this car every single day to get a great fuel economy. But if you do not charge the car every single day, it's basically use the petrol alone every time, you're going to see a very big difference on the fuel economy that you have when charging and non-charging. It's going to eat up the fuel quite fast, alright? So it is what it is. A plug-in hybrid is that if you do not charge the car every single day, daily, you're not going to see the fuel consumption that you want. It's not going to save you a lot of money. I think if you do not charge this car, I think the average of this engine fuel consumption is going to get us about 15 liters per 100 kilometers averaging, alright? It's going to be very, very thirsty, alright? Because the car is quite heavy, under 2.1 tons. So yeah, so that's the I wouldn't say it's a disadvantage, but it's definitely a disadvantage if you don't charge a plug-in hybrid every single day. So in conclusion, what do I think about this Volvo V60 T8 Ultimate Recharge? I think it's the only station wagon you can really buy right now, brand new in the market in Malaysia. Because the only other competitor that I know of that can buy a station wagon with similar performance is the Audi RS4. But that's really the performance model of the A4. You can't get a standard A4 Avant in Malaysia unless you go find like something those recon market, something like that you can find. But for brand new, you just cannot find it. So this car, I really love it. It has a great performance, great fuel economy, practical, comfort, and incredible design. So yeah, why would you want to buy an SUV when you can get such a cool station wagon like this?